everybody. Hi Tim, hi Anita, hi Kamyab, hi whoever else I haven't seen that's come online already. Oh, thanks for the hearts and the likes, everybody. Let me just turn down this beautiful, beautiful music. There we go. Let me actually just turn it off, because if I don't turn it off, then it kind of echoes. And I will turn. Good evening, everybody. I was looking forward to reading for you this evening. I've had a wonderful day. The sun was shining, and I was out and about. I went for a walk with my Georgie. Georgie, come here. I'm going to get him to come and say hello to you. Georgie, come and say hello. Look, come and say hello, Georgie. Sit. Georgie, sit. Good boy. You say hello, boo-boo. You say hello. Good. He's such a sweetheart. He's an absolute sweetheart. Right, you can bugger off now. No, he's going to be like, no, I want strokes again. You gave me strokes. Give me strokes more. More strokes. More strokes. I got to read now. You read for me. Be much nicer. I think so. Oh, he blends into my skirt so beautifully. And he's like, right, okay, I'm comfy now. I'm snuggly. Anyway, apparently this is supposed to be very, very good for your psyche, that you can watch a dog as I read. So if you get bored of looking at me, you can look at Georgie. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Thanks, Tim, for your kind words. I have to say, I really was very much looking forward to reading for you all tonight. Saying that, I only read the story myself about 15 minutes ago. So you're just going to bear with me today if I do lots of hoplas. Tonight we are on the 28th night, and I wanted to tell you what I've been up to today. Well, I went for a walk in the woods because the sun was so shiny. Saman and I met for the first time. I know, it was lovely today, wasn't it? Saman and I met yesterday for the... Saman's on. Hi, Saman. We met yesterday for the first time in 7 weeks or something, and it was so beautiful. And I think neither of us could stop laughing the whole 3 hours that we were together, because we would had just so much joy. I certainly had, anyway, I don't know about Saman, but I certainly had loads of absolute pleasure at being able to spend time with a very, very, very dear friend and a gorgeous lady, and we laughed an awful lot. And if you want to see it, because, you know, thanks, baby. If you want to see what we were up to and how silly we were being, we did record the whole affair. Of course we did, because, you know, these are the days of social media, and if you can't do reality TV anymore these days, who can? So we made our own little reality TV video, and it is on both of our timelines. So if you want to go onto our private timelines, well, mine's a little bit more public, because I do have actually 2 timelines. Anyway, if you want to go and watch it, we were just being silly. It's whatever it is. So I'm just going to enjoy that. The only thing that did happen to me, and I'll tell you this, so beware if you haven't really been going out and about much yet. I have been cooking for 7 weeks, done most of the cooking myself, which means I have not gone into restaurants. I have to admit, I don't do much anyway, but I've not got into restaurants and enjoyed the delights of cakes and stodgy things and really heavy stuff. And we went to Port, and if you don't know it, by the way, people living in Vienna, it's a really, really great bread shop. There's one in the 3rd district. They're distributed a little bit around Vienna now. They've become very popular because they do a lot of, bread baked by Austrian virgins and stuff. So it's all very beautifully made from local farmers, local produce, and so on and so forth. And they had a thing in there called a Scheiterhaufen. Now, if any of you know what a Scheiterhaufen is, who live in Austria, for those who don't know, it's kind of like a base, then it's got like pears or something on top, and then on top of that it's got like kind of like an egg white meringue type thing, uncooked. But this one was different. It was just the cake. It did warn me on the sign that it had chocolate in it and apricots as well. And I thought, I'm going to be really naughty and really daring, because it's the first time I'm seeing somebody who I really, really care about, and this is such an exciting moment after 7 weeks of abstinence of the rest of the world. So I'm going to be really naughty, and I'm going to have one of these cakes, and I'm going to have this Scheiterhaufen. I walked around for 4 hours like I'd eaten a great bloody tire. Yeah, I know, right? But it's true, Anita. Baked by Austrian virgins. Whenever something is You know, I have this friend, Georgina, who I also met today. Actually, we went for a walk together. And she has floorboards in her apartment because they're very much into sort of everything being biodegradable and you know, environmentally viable and stuff. She has floorboards that were cut by Danish virgins because they were cut down in Denmark and they were flown in and they were happy trees. So anyway, that's my thing, that they were all being male or female virgins, we don't know, right? Anyway, I just wanted to also show what happened to me today. I have a meeting next week with Theater Drachengasse, which I'm extremely excited about. So I am spending I have been spending time already. And I'm going to continue spending until next Tuesday, my days when I'm not reading for you and taking dogs for a walk and hopefully meeting Saman again. I am reading lots of plays and I can't show you the titles because if I showed you the titles, then the cat would be out of the bag and somebody might go, oh, she's going to be doing that one and it's a big fat secret. So I've had lots of theatre meetings today as well with other groups as well. So next season, if the government allows it, is already looking very promising. So everyone keep their fingers crossed that we can get this sorted and get this going. So that's enough about me and my day with Saman yesterday. Now I'm going to read for you. I've got this one's a little bit naughty today. It looks like water. It's not just water. And I've got my favourite cup. It's my little old granny's cup. This is like you know the lady in Harry Potter with all the cats on her plates, the really nasty one. That's a little shintsy, my little shintsy cup. And my candles, and I've already burnt my incense, and soon those candles are going to run out. I have to get some new ones. So I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you sitting comfortably, children? Oh, hello, Christian. Hi, Christian. Hi. Are you all sitting comfortably, and are you ready for me to begin? Is that a yes? Wonderful. Then, I'm not even going to tell you what happened yesterday, because Saman, it was like, it got to like 8 minutes past 10, and she went, and Scheherazade ceased to say her blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hold on a minute. She's got a short one again. How does Saman always manage to get the short ones? It's not fair. This one, again, is 12 pages long. So I hope you are all sitting very comfortably and can remember what happened yesterday. So here we go. I'm going to centre myself now. Now then. Now. When it was the 28th night, Scheherazade said, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that the young merchant continued as follows. Now, when I testified, I bear witness that there is no God save the God. I heard my mistress, the handmaid, declare to the Caliph, 'These chests, O commander of the faithful, have been committed to my charge by the lady Zubaydah, and she doth not wish their contents to be seen by anyone.' 'No matter,' quoth the Caliph. 'Needs must they be opened. I will see what is in them.' And he cried aloud to the eunuchs, 'Bring the chests here before me.' At this I made sure of death, without benefit of a doubt, and swooned away. Then the eunuchs brought the chests up to him, one after another, and he fell to inspecting the contents. But he saw in them only otters and stuffs and fine dresses, and they ceased not opening the chests, and he ceased not looking to see them what was in them, finding only clothes and such matters, till none remained unopened but the box in which I was boxed. They put forth their hands to open it, but my mistress, the handmaid, made haste and said to the Caliph, 'This one thou shalt see only in the presence of the lady Zubaydah, for that which is in it is her secret.' When he heard this, he gave orders to carry in the chests. So they took up that there wherein I was, and bore it with the rest into the harem, and set it down in the midst of the saloon, and indeed my spittle was dried up for very fear. Then my mistress opened the box and took me out, saying, Fear not, no harm shall betide thee, now nor dread. But broaden thy breast, and strengthen thy heart, and sit thee down till the lady comes, and surely thou shalt win thy wish of me. So I sat down, and after a while in came 10 handmaidens, virgins like moons, and ranged themselves in 2 rows, 5 facing 5. And after them went 20 other damsels, high-bosomed virginity, surrounding the Lady Zubaydah, who could hardly walk for the weight of her raiment and ornaments. As she drew near, the slave girls dispersed from around her, and I advanced and kissed the ground between her hands. She signed to me to sit, and when I sat down before her chair, she began questioning me of my forebears and family and condition, to which I made such answers that pleased her, and she said to my mistress, Our nurturing of thee, O damsel, hath not disappointed us. Then she said to me, Know that this handmaiden is to us even as our own child, and she is a trust committed to thee by Allah. I again kissed the ground before her, well pleased that I should marry my mistress, and she bade me abide 10 days in the palace. So I abode there 10 days, during which time I saw not my mistress, nor anybody save one of the concubines, who brought me the morning and evening meals. After this, okay, is everybody still there? I do apologise, everybody. A friend just called me, the guy actually who wants to read from us from Africa. So, let me carry on. After this, the Lady Zubaydah took counsel with the Caliph on the marriage of her favourite handmaid, and he gave leave and assigned to her a wedding portion of 10,000 gold pieces. So the Lady Zubaydah sent for the Qazi and witnesses, who wrote our marriage contract, after which the women made ready sweetmeats and rich viands and distributed them among all the uta of the harem, and those, by the way, the rooms of the harem. Thus they did other 10 days, at the end of which time my mistress went to the baths. Meanwhile, they set before me a tray of food, whereon were various meats, and among those dishes which were enough to daze the wits was a bowl of cumin ragout, containing chicken's breasts, fricandowed and flavoured with sugar, pistachios, musk, and rose water. Then, by Allah, fair sirs, I did not long hesitate, but took my seat before the ragout, and fell to, and ate of it till I could no more. After this, I wiped my hands, but I forgot to wash them, and sat till it grew dark, when the wax candles were lighted, and the singing women came in with their tambourines, and proceeded to display the bride in various dresses, and to carry her in procession from room to room all round the palace, getting their palms crossed with gold. Then they brought her to me and disrobed her. When I found myself alone with her on the bed, I embraced her, hardly believing in our union. But she smelt the strong odours of the ragout upon my hands, and forthwith cried out with an exceeding loud cry, at which the slave girls came running to her from all sides. I trembled with alarm, unknowing what was the matter, and the girls asked her, "What aileth thee, O our sister?" She answered them, "Take this madman away from me. I had thought he was a man of sense." Quoth I to her, "What makes thee think I am mad?" Quoth she, "Thou madman, what made thee eat of cumin ragout and forget to wash thy hand? By Allah, I will requite thee for thy misconduct. Shall the like of thee come to bed with the like of me with unclean hand?" Then she took from her side a plaited scourge and came down with it on my back and the place where I sat till her forearms were benumbed, and I fainted away from the much beating. When she said to her handmaids, "Take him and carry him to the chief of police, that he may strike off the hand wherewith he ate the cumin ragout, and which he did not wash." When I heard this, I said, "There is no majesty, and there is no might save in Allah. Wilt thou cut off my hand because I ate of a cumin ragout and did not wash?" The handmaidens also interceded with her and kissed her hand, saying, "O our sister, this man is a simpleton. Punish him not for what he hath done this nonce." But she answered, "By Allah, there is no help but that I dock him of somewhat, especially the offending member." Then she went away, and I saw no more of her for 10 days, during which time she sent me meat and drink by a slave girl, who told me that she had fallen sick from the smell of the cumin ragout. After that, she came to me and said, "O black of face, I will teach thee how to eat cumin ragout without washing thy hands." Then she cried out for the handmaidens who pinioned me, and she took a sharp razor, and cut off my thumbs and great toes, even as you see, O fair assembly. Thereupon I swooned away, and she sprinkled some powder of healing herbs upon the stumps, and when the blood was staunched, I said, "Never again will I eat of cumin ragout without washing my hands 40 times with potash, and 40 times with galangale, and 40 times with soap." And she took of me an oath, and bound me by my covenant to that effect. When, therefore, you see me, the cumin ragout my colour changed, and I said to myself, "It was with this dish that I caused the cutting off of my thumbs and great toes." And when you forced me, I said, "Needs must I fulfil the oath I have sworn." "And what befell thee after this?" asked those present. And he answered, "When I swore to her, her anger was appeased, and I slept with her that night. When we abode thus a while, till she said to me one day, 'Verily, the palace of the Caliph is not a pleasant place for me any more, or for us to live in, and none other entered it save thyself. And thou only by the grace of the lady Zubaydah. Now she hath given me 50,000 dinars, adding, Take this money, go out, and buy us a fair dwelling place.' So I fared forth and bought a fine and spacious mansion, whither she removed all the wealth she had owned, and what riches I had gained in stuffs and costly rarities. Such is the cause of the cutting off of my thumbs and great toes. We ate," continued the Reeve, "and were returning to our houses, when they befill me with the hunchback that thou wottest of. This then is my story, and peace be with thee, quoth the king. And if you can remember, this is the Chinese king. This story is on no wise more delectable than the story of the hunchback. Nay, it is even less so, and there is no help for the hanging of the whole of you. Then came forward the Jewish physician, and kissing the ground said, O King of the age, I will tell thee an history more wonderful than that of the hunchback. Tell on, said the King of China. And so he began. The tale of the Jewish doctor. And excuse me while I take a drink of my water that is not just water. And you are all doing well so far. Good evening, Luth. How lovely to see you and anybody else who's joined that I cannot see. So now we begin the tale of the Jewish doctor. Right marvellous was a matter which came to pass to me in my youth. I lived in Damascus of Syria, studying my art, and one day, as I was sitting at home, behold, there came to me a Mameluke from the household of the Sahib, and said to me, Speak with my lord. So I followed him to the viceroy's house, and, entering the great hall, saw at its head a couch of cedar, plated with gold, whereon lay a sickly youth, beautiful withal. Fairer than he, one could not see. I sat down by his head and prayed to heaven for a cure, and he made me a sign with his eyes. So I said to him, O my lord, favour me with thy hand, and safety be with thee. Then he put forth his left hand, and I marvelled thereat, and said, By Allah, strange that this handsome youth, the son of a great house, should so lack good manners. This can be nothing but pride and conceit. However, I felt his pulse, and wrote him a prescription, and continued to visit him for 10 days, at the end of which he recovered and went to the hammam, whereupon the viceroy gave me a handsome dress of honour, and appointed me superintendent of the hospital, which is in Damascus. I accompanied him to the baths, the whole of which they had kept private for his accommodation. And the servant came in with him, and took up his clothes within the bath. And when he was stripped, I saw that his right hand had been newly cut off, and this was the cause of his weakliness. At this I was amazed and grieved for him. Then looking at his body, I saw on it the scars of scourge stripes, whereto he had applied unguents. I was troubled at the sight, and my concern appeared on my face. The young man looked at me, and comprehending the matter, said, O physician of the age, marvel not at my case. I will tell thee my story as soon as we quit the baths. Then we washed, and returning to his house, ate somewhat of food, and took rest a while, after which he asked me, What sayest thou to solacing thee by inspecting the supper hall? And I answered, So let it be. Thereupon he ordered the slaves to carry out the carpets and cushions required, and roast a lamb, and bring us some fruit. They did his bidding, and we ate together, he using the left hand for the purpose. And after a while I said to him, "Now, tell me thy tale." "O physician of the age," replied he, "hear what befell me. Know that I am of the sons of Mosul, where my grandfather died, leaving 9 children, of whom my father was the eldest. All grew up and took to them wives, but none of them were blessed with offspring except my father, to whom Providence vouchsafed me. So I grew up amongst my uncles, who rejoiced in me with exceeding joy, till I came to man's estate. One day, which happened to be a Friday, I went to the cathedral mosque of Mosul, where my father and my uncles, and we prayed the congregational prayers, after which the folk went forth, except my father and uncles, who sat talking of wondrous things in foreign parts and the marvellous sights of strange cities. At last they mentioned Egypt, and one of my uncles said, "Travellers tell us that there is not on earth's face aught fairer than Cairo and her Nile." And these words made me long to see Cairo. Quoth my father, "Whoso hath not seen Cairo hath not seen the world. Her dust is golden, and her Nile a miracle holden, and her women are as houris fair, puppets, beautiful pictures. Her houses are palaces rare, her water is sweet and light, and her mud a commodity and a medicine beyond compare. Even as said the poet in this his poetry, the Nile flood this day is the gain you own. You alone in such gain and bounty is wone. The Nile is my tear flood of severance, and here none is forlorn but I alone. Moreover, temperate in her hair and with fragrance blent, which surpasseth aloes wood in scent. And how should it be otherwise, she being the mother of the world? And Allah favour him who wrote these lines. As I quit Cairo and her pleasaunces, where can I wend to find so gladsome ways? Shall I desert that sight, whose grateful sense joy every soul and call for loudest praise? Where every palace as another Eden, carpets and cushions richly wrought displays, a city wooing sight and sprite to glee, where saint meets sinner and each joys his craze, where friend meets friend, by Providence united, in greeny garden and in palmy maze. People of Cairo, and by Allah's doom, I fare with you in thoughts and I wone all ways. Whisper not Cairo in the ear of Sophia, lest for her like of garden sense he reave her. And if your eyes saw her earth, and the adornment thereof, with bloom, and the purfling of with all manner blossoms, and the islands of the Nile, how much is therein of widespread and goodly prospect? And if you bent your sight upon the Abyssinian pond, your glance would not revert from the scent quit of wonder, for nowhere would you behold the fellow of that lovely view. And indeed, the 2 arms of the Nile embrace most luxuriant verdure, as the white of the eye encompasseth its black, or like filigreed a silver surrounding chrysolites. And divinely gifted was the poet who wherein it said these couplets. By the Abyssinian pond, O day divine, in morning twilight and in sunny shine, the water prisoned in its verdurous walls, like sabre flashes before shrinking eyne. And in the garden sat we while it drains, slow draught, with purfled sides dyed finest fine. The stream is rippled by the hands of clouds. We too are rippling, on our rugs recline, passing pure wine, and whoso leaves us there shall ne'er arise from fall his woes design, draining long draughts from large and brimming bowls, administering thirst's only medicine, wine. And what is there to compare with the Rasad, the observatory, and its charms, whereof every viewer, as he approacheth, saith, verily, this spot is specialized with all manners of excellence. And if thou speak of the night of Nile full, give the rainbow and distribute it. And if thou behold the garden at eventide, with the cool shade sloping far and wide, a marvel thou wouldest see, and wouldest incline to Egypt in ecstasy. And wert thou by Cairo's riverside, when the sun is sinking, and the stream dons mail coat and habergeon over its other vestments, thou wouldest be quickened to new life by its gentle zephyrs, and by its all-sufficient shade. So spake he, and the rest of us fell to describing Egypt and her Nile. As I heard their accounts, my thoughts dwelt upon the subject, and when, after talking their fill, all arose and went their ways, I lay down to sleep that night. But sleep came not because of my violent longing for Egypt, and neither meat pleased me, nor drink. After a few days, my uncles equipped themselves for a trade journey to Egypt, and I wept before my father till he made ready for me fitting merchandise, and he consented to my going with them, saying, however, let him not enter Cairo, but leave him to sell his wares at Damascus. So I took leave of my father, and we fared forth from Mosul, and gave not over travelling till we reached Aleppo, where we halted certain days. Then we marched onwards till we made Damascus, and we found her a fair city as though she were a paradise, abounding in trees and streams and birds and fruits of all kinds. We alighted at one of the khans, where my uncles tarried a while, selling and buying, and they bought and sold also on my account, each dirham turning a profit of 5 on prime cost, which pleased me mightily. After this, they left me alone and set their faces Egyptwards, whilst I abode at Damascus, where I had hired from a jeweller for 2 dinars a month a mansion whose beauties would beggar the tongue. Here I remained, eating and drinking and spending what monies I had in hand, till one day, as I was sitting at the door of my house, behold, there came up a young lady clad in the costliest raiments. Never saw my eyes richer. I winked at her, and she stepped inside without hesitation and stood within. I entered with her and shut the door upon myself and her, whereupon she raised her face veil and threw off her mantilla, when I found her like pictured moon of rare and marvellous loveliness, and love of her gat hold of my heart. So I rose and brought a tray of the most delicate eatables and fruits, and whatso befitted the occasion, and we ate and played, and after that we drank till the wine turned our heads. Then I lay with her the sweetest of nights, and in the morning I offered her 10 gold pieces. When her face lowered and her eyebrows wrinkled, and shaking with wrath, she cried, "Fie upon thee, O my sweet companion! Dost thou deem that I covet thy money?" Then she took out from her bosom of her shift 15 dinars, and laying them before me, said, "By Allah, unless thou take them, I will never come back to thee." So I accepted them, and she said to me, "Oh, my beloved." That's my son signing to me. Excuse me, everybody.
I'm going to get drunk. Bye.
Seriously? Where are you going?
To Jakob. He lives 200 metres in that direction.
Okay, sorry, everybody. I just had to make sure I knew where my son was up to, even though he's 20. Still, you know, we have to take care of such things. I shall continue. It is readings in isolation, after all. Hi, Eno. I know, right? Sorry, I just heard him putting... Anyway, he's off. He's gone to get drunk at Jakob's house. There we go. So, we are back to our beautiful young lady giving him 15 dinars and not accepting his money. And we know that this is not going to end well, don't we? Or we don't. Let's hope it will. Then she took out from her bosom of her shift 15 dinars, and laying them before me, said, "By Allah, unless thou take them, I will never come back to thee." So I accepted them, and she said to me, "O my beloved, expect me again in 3 days' time, when I will be with thee between sunset and suppertide, and do thou prepare for us with these dinars the same entertainment as yesterday night." So saying, she took leave of me and went away, and all my senses went with her. On the 3rd day, she came again, clad in stuff weft with gold wire, and wearing raiment and ornaments finer than before. I had prepared the place for her ere she arrived, and the repast was ready. So we ate and drank and lay together, as we had done till morning, when she gave me other 15 gold pieces and promised to come again after 3 days. Excuse me, everybody. That was so exciting, seeing my son coming down the stairs. It set me off and yawning, and I'm going to have a cup of tea. Right, we're good again now. When she gave me 15 gold pieces and promised to come again after 3 days. Accordingly, I made ready for her, and at the appointed time, she presented herself more richly dressed than on the first and second occasion, and said to me, "O my lord, am I not beautiful?" "Yea, by Allah, thou art," answered I. And she went on, "Wilt thou allow me to bring with me a young lady fairer than I, and younger than in years, that she may play with us, and thou, and she may laugh, and make merry, and rejoice our heart? For she hath been very sad this long time past, and have asked me to take her out, and let her spend the night abroad with me." "Yea, by Allah," I replied. And we drank till the wine turned our heads, and slept till the morning, when she gave me other 15 dinars, saying, "Add something to thy usual provision on account of the young lady who will come with me." Then she went away, and on the 4th day I made ready with the house as usual, and soon after sunset, behold, she came accompanied by another damsel, carefully wrapped in her mantilla. They entered, and sat down. And when I saw them, I repeated these verses. How dear is our day, and how lucky our lot. When the cynics wave with his tongues malign, when love and delight and the swimming of head send cleverness trotting, the best boon of wine. When the full moon shines from the cloudy veil, and the branchlet swales in her greens that shine, when the red rose mantles in freshest cheek, and Narcissus opeth his lovesick eyne, when pleasure with those I love is so sweet, when friendship with those I love is complete, I rejoiced to see them, and lighted the candles after receiving them with gladness and delight. They doffed their outer dresses, and the new damsel uncovered her face, when I saw that she was like the moon at its full. Never beheld I aught more beautiful. Then I rose and set meat and drink before them, and we ate and drank, and I kept giving mouthfuls to the newcomer, crowning her cup and drinking with her till the first damsel, waxing inwardly jealous, asked me, By Allah, is she not more delicious than I? Whereto I answered, Aye, by the Lord. It is my wish that thou lie with her this night, for I am thy mistress, but she is our visitor. Upon my head be it, and my eyes. Then she rose and spread the carpets for our bed, and I took the young lady and lay with her that night till morning. When I awoke, I found myself wet, as I thought, with sweat. But I sat up and tried to arouse the damsel. But when I shook her by the shoulders, my hand became crimson with blood, and her head rolled off the pillow. Thereupon my senses fled, and I cried aloud, saying, O almighty protector, all-powerful protector, grant me thy protection. Then, finding her neck had been severed, I sprung up, and the world waxed black before my eyes, and I looked for the lady, my former love, but could not find her. So I knew that it was she that had murdered the damsel in her sleep, jealousy, and said, There is no majesty, and there is no might save in Allah, the glorious, the great. What is to be done now? I considered a while. Then, doffing my clothes, dug a hole in the middle of the courtyard, wherein I laid the murdered girl with her jewellery and golden ornaments, and throwing back the earth on her, replaced the slabs of marble pavement. After this, I made the ghusl of total ablution and put on pure clothes. Then, taking what money I had left, locked up the house and summoned courage and went to its owner, to whom I paid a year's rent, saying, I am about to join my uncles in Cairo. Presently I set out, and journeying to Egypt, foregathered with my uncles, who rejoiced in me, and I found that they had made an end of selling their merchandise. They asked me, What is the cause of thy coming? And I answered, I longed for a sight of you, but did not let them know that I had any money with me. I abode with them a year, enjoying the pleasures of Cairo and her Nile, and squandering the rest of my money in feasting and carousing, till the time drew near for the departure of my uncles, when I fled from them and hid myself. They made inquiries and sought for me, but hearing no tidings, they said, he will have gone back to Damascus. When they departed, I came forth from my hiding place and abode Cairo 3 years, until naught remained of my money. Now, every year I used to send the rent of the Damascus house to its owner, until at last I had nothing left but enough to pay him for 1 year's rent, and my breast was straitened. So I travelled to Damascus, and alighted at the house, whose owner, the jeweller, was glad to see me, and I found everything locked up as I had left it. I opened the closets and took out my clothes and necessaries, and came upon beneath the carpet bed whereupon I had laid that night with the girl who had been beheaded, a gold necklace set with 10 gems of passing beauty. I took it up, and cleansing it of the blood, sat gazing upon it and wept a while. Then I abode the house 2 days, and on the 3rd I entered the hammam and changed my clothes. I had no money by me now. So Satan whispered temptation to me, that the decree of destiny be carried out. Next day I took the jewelled necklace to the bazaar and handed it to a broker, who made me sit down in the shop of the jeweller, my landlord, and bade me have patience till the market was full. When he carried off the ornament and proclaimed it for sale, privily and without my knowledge. The necklet was priced as worth 2,000 dinars, but the broker returned to me and said, "This collar is of copper, a mere counterfeit after the fashion of francs, and 1,000 dirhams have been bidden for it." "Yes," I answered, "I knew it to be copper, as we had it made for a certain person, that we might mock her. Now my wife hath inherited it, and we wish to sell it. So go and take over the 1,000 dirhams. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day, and ceased to say her permitted say. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to touch something on my phone quick, because it's just told me that my iPhone memory is full. Well, that was an exciting story today, wasn't it? 2 wonderfully exciting stories for the price of 1. And I think it's about to get more exciting, because obviously things are about to go very south for this young man. Yes, I really enjoyed reading today. There was a reason why it was 12 pages long, because it was 12 pages. You are more than welcome, Saman. Hi, Robert. How lovely to see you. Oh, hi, Fiona, all the way from Switzerland. That's really, really super. We've got lots of people from lots of different places online tonight. It's how great to see you all. That was a super exciting story. I'm really, really glad I read that one tonight. Thanks very much. You're more than welcome, Robert. You're more than welcome. Maybe we can convince Robert to read for us one night. Oh, hi, Jacob. Nice to see you too again. Yeah, well, let it be a warning to you. Next time you eat a ragu, make sure you wash your hands afterwards, because if you don't, you might meet the wrong person who first of all decides to whip you, and then decides to cut off your thumbs and your big toes. It actually, you can just see these. Sorry, no, I'm getting so tongue-tied. You can just see these things coming as they happen, can't you? Now that we've all read so much of these stories, you're like, no, don't let her into your house. Or, no, it's all going so well, but don't forget to wash. The minute he said, and then I didn't wash my hands, you know something bad is going to happen. And you're like, no, wash your hands. It really is. In fact, I think Samantha and I were saying this the other day. It really is a little bit like, you know, when you watch those Hollywood horror movies, right? The really, really cheap, nasty ones, right? Where, you know, there's that one with, what's the one where that guy is wearing black the whole time and has that white face, and there's like 7 of them already and each one gets worse, or I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all those, or Nightmare on Elm Street or something. And you know, like 2 people have already been murdered by the ghost, right? And you know, when he puts his hand, or she puts her hand on the door handle and opens it, you're like, don't open the door handle. Or when the person says, I'm going to go off on my own, I don't need to be with you guys, you know that they're going to be the next ones that are going to die. It's a little bit like this in 1001 Arabian Nights. These people are always destined to have a rather dangerous, precarious time with whatever befalls them. Although some of the stories have been very sweet. Anyway, guys, it was an absolute pleasure reading this story for you tonight. I do apologise for the minor interruptions. As we know, although actually we're reading in isolation and my son has just gone out. That's wrong. Last night, I actually went and picked him up at midnight from a friend's house. So I'm expecting a phone call sometime later tonight saying, Mum, can you come pick me up? Which I, of course, will happily do, because otherwise I don't know how he's going to get home. So anyway, it was an absolute pleasure reading for you. I think tomorrow's Friday, and I think Saman will be on for you tomorrow night. Saman, are you going to be on for us tomorrow night? I don't know yet, actually, because we met each other yesterday, but we got so excited about seeing each other, we forgot to discuss which nights we were definitely going to read tonight and which not. We're not going to read Saturday, that's for sure, but we might read Sunday, so either tomorrow or Sunday. We'll let you know. Keep watching online, because we'll announce it sometime during the day tomorrow. We're potentially going to meet for coffee again tomorrow. I am not going to be eating stodgy cakes, that's for sure. And so potentially watch a video if you want to watch our silly videos of us meeting each other and being excited. It's very strange walking through the streets of Vienna and seeing everyone in masks. And today I went out because I had to go to a meeting, and I had to park in an Einkaufszentrum. And I suddenly realised, or I don't know what happened to it, that somehow between going from my home to my car to the Einkaufszentrum, I'd lost my mask. And then I had to walk through this shopping mall with no mask on. And everyone else had a mask on. And I looked like a leper. Honestly, they all stared at me like I was... Very strange times, everybody. Anyway, as I said, doesn't matter, does it? It was an absolute pleasure reading for you tonight. I'm gonna slip in one of my Clarice Bean and Winnie the Pooh stories, I think, one night this week, just for the little children, because it's always such fun reading those things. I wish you... Wait, I'm gonna try and say it. I'm gonna say it wrong again. Remember, before you go outwards, go inwards. And I'm sure that was wrong. Have a beautiful evening or a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Look after yourselves. Take care of your heart. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of your pets. Eat wonderful food. Do lots of wonderful exercise. Get fresh air. And what is that? Better not drink much more of your water. That's true. It is only, okay, I'll admit, it's actually, it was like Grüne Veltliner, so it was white wine up to here, and then the rest was sort of water, so I'm not doing too bad. And actually, after saying that, I suddenly remembered that he told me that Jakob is only 200 meters away. So he's going to be walking home and I'm not picking him up tonight. So it's all good. Anyway, guys, thanks for the heart, thanks for the stars, everybody. Thanks for the laughter and the love. It was a pleasure, as I said. Take care. Much love. See you sometime this week for reading Winnie the Pooh. If you want to listen to me reading the Winnie the Pooh again, then I will absolutely love and enjoy doing that for you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day tomorrow. And if you're at work, have fun working too. If you're working in isolation or you're back in your offices, I hope it's all working out well for you. And we'll keep on seeing each other. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful evening or a wonderful day. Bye-bye.